My only white shirt. Linda, how could you?
It was very simple, Jim. It's just, I was looking at you and I forgot what I was doing.
Simple is right. Did it burn very much?
Just a tale of it, darling.
Oh, thank heavens for that. It's say, maybe I better be out of the room next time you're ironing my shirts.
No, please don't.
Why?
Well, I like so much having you here.
Do you really?
Well, yes, of course I do. My lord and master, I feel so warm and snug and protected whenever you're in this little room with me. It's just as if I were in the top room of a magic tower with stairs so long and steep that nobody but you could ever come near me again.
What a poetic idea it is. I think I'll have to paint a picture of you, Linda, in your magic tower.
In our magic tower.
Yes, with your long brown hair blowing out the window like many songs.
No, not out the window. I never look out the window if I can help it. It's all so hopelessly ugly out there with all of the filling stations and delicatessens and billboard signs. No, I imagine our magic tower as being surrounded by green forest.
Yes, that's it. Green forest, forest of pine trees.
And lovely clear blue lakes.
With crocodiles, you can build collectors up.
And a dragon to breathe fire in the face of Mrs. O'Fallon every time she comes up for the rent. Oh no, there wouldn't be any bill collectors or rent or Mrs. O'Fallon's, would there? That's the magical thing about a magic tower, Jim. There's only two people, the knight and the lady.
The prince and the princess.
And he won't ever leave her.
Can't you go with him for supper?
No, because when he leaves, something starts to happen. The magic tower starts to crumble. And if he's gone for too long, it'll fall to pieces. No. So that even if she moons over him so much she ruins the tail of his only white shirt, he has to stay right in the magic tower looking perfectly happy about it.
Linda, it's all just make-believe, isn't it?
Make-believe? No, it's absolutely real.
You can't tell me. You find this life pretty dull after the excitement of show business.
What makes you think I found show business exciting?
Didn't you? I would have found it terribly exciting.
Terribly is right. Just like being tied to the tail of a runaway horse.
You know, I've never been outside the city. I've grown right up in the middle of all this ugliness. I would have done anything to have been in the places you've been. At least you got that. Things to look back on and memories.
Well, yeah, I've got memories, but some of them aren't so swell.
And now it's all narrowed down to this one little room. I get awfully tired of it.
Jim, if I tell you something very seriously, will you promise to take my word for it?
What?
In this little room of ours, I've been completely happy for the first and only time in my life. Pull the cord out while you Jim. The iron's getting too hot.
And did you mean it about the magic tower falling to pieces when I go out?
Yes. When you leave, when you're out of this room for just one moment, something starts to happen. I look around and I think to myself, what atrocious wallpaper this is. How damp the air is. If the roof continues to leak like this, I shall have to learn to swim before dark.
Oh, and what the devil are we going to have for supper tonight?
That is the most immediate problem, isn't it? What to eat and when?
Oh, I know. Mrs. O'Fallon had chicken for dinner last night. I'm going to raid the fridge right now.
And leave me here by myself? I'll come with you.
Oh, I'll say you aren't. If Mrs. O'Fallon caught you in her fridge, it would be grand larceny.
I suppose you're right. She doesn't approve of me. She thinks I married you for your family fortune. Well, go on, swipe a drumstick for me. Rain all the time. Mrs. Flynn? Oh, Mrs. O'Fallon. And just when I was feeling so lonely. I see you're doing your washing here. Yes, I'm quite domestic these days.
Well, it ain't that. It's against the rules of the establishment. Roomers ain't allowed to do the washing the rooms.
But Mrs. O'Fallon, Jim and I, we have to save every way that we can.
I should think there would. You're
before I moved in, you were just like a mother to him.
Just like a mother, is it? Well, I like that. I'm hardly as old as all that, Mrs. Lynn.
Oh, how stupid of me. It was just like an older sister, he said. Just like an older sister.
You're as old as Judith yourself, ain't you, Mrs. Lynn?
Yes. What are you driving at?
I'll tell you what I'm driving at. Your neighbor bought you a woman. Why don't you go back to work?
Go back with the show?
Oh, so the show business who was working in, was it?
Yes.
Well, an actress. And did you get fired?
No, I did not.
Well, take my advice. Go back to your show business, girl. Jim Flynn ain't hardly a grown man yet.
But Mrs. Flynn, Jim's my husband.
Oh, I'm aware of that. I made him show me the license there to give him permission to bring you in. I know these young people.
Mrs. Flynn, you don't understand. If I went back with the show, Jim and I would be separate. We'd lose each other. This magic tower we built together would fall apart. It would all be ruined.
What kind of nonsense is this?
I'm sorry.
You show people, always putting on an act. I had him before. A Shakespearean actor he was. Started reciting Hamlet's solitary every time I asked him for the rent. Couldn't get a word in edgewise. Found me to throw himself out the window. Well, I just wanted to warn you, Mrs. Lynn. I have more strict about payments for married couples than from single men. Good night.
Hello, old sourpuss.
Get along with you, Jimmy. Always fooling around you are. You ought to be trounced.
That horrible woman. She gives me the creeps.
Poor old Linda. What was it about this time? The rent? She's always picking on you. Oh, look, success. This is for you.
You eat it, Jim. I'm not hungry.
Aren't you really? Well, all right. Yeah.
I'm glad you're back. It's so much nicer now that you're here. In a moment, I'll forget everything that she said.
He's here. He's here!
What are you howling about? New chimpanzee at the zoo?
It's a fine way to speak of our future patron,
Our future patron?
Mr. T. Anthony Westcott, the most famous art dealer in all of Europe. He discovered half the modern masters. Arrived this morning above the Ile de France, and is now studying the world of Astoria.
I am here on official business, says Mr. Westcott. I'm especially interested in the works of contemporary American art. I am especially looking forward to people of young talent who have not yet acquired a reputation. I shall be the Christopher Columbus of modern art.
Oh, heavens!
And I, Mr. Westcott, shall be on Virgin Islands.
What do you mean?
I'm going to see him at once.
In all this weather? But how do you know he'll let you in?
I'll let him in. I'll break the door down. Where's my hat? My cane.
Here.
All artists have canes. I'll break it over his head if he doesn't let me in. Oh, he'll see me, won't he, Linda?
Of course. But don't you think you should call first?
Oh, yes. I'll call. I'll make an appointment. I'll tell him I'm the president of the National Academy.
No, tell him you're a millionaire.
A multi-millionaire. He wants an old master to teach his new mistress. They'll have him foaming at the mouth. Well, at least till the truth comes out. Say, do you have a nickel?
Not a penny, darling.
How ghastly poor we are. It'll be very easy for us to get into the kingdom of heaven.
I'd say we're already there.
If Mr. Westcott gives me this break, we will be.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, I have to say goodbye.
Your painting?
Oh, right, those. Which one should I take? Oh, no, I'll take the ones of you. That'll give me good luck.
Jim, I brought you nothing but bad luck.
Oh, don't be silly. You're my lucky star.
More like your evil star.
I think I'll take this one. Oh, no. I'll take the one of you in your dancing costume. Linda, what are you doing? This is no time for music.
Always time for music, Jim. See, he doesn't deny it. I am his evil star. Dance with me before you go.
Linda, you're so different.
Indifferent? If only you knew how excited I am.
Worried?
Not a bit. I'm so sure of you, Jim. Oh, and don't forget to ask him for an advance payment. You're 5 weeks behind on the rent.
5 weeks? That's nothing.
And guess what we're having for dinner?
Nightingale comes. We'll have nightingale comes.
Half a loaf of stale bread.
Well, half a loaf of stale bread is better than none.
But it's such stale bread, darling. It'll ruin your dental work.
Do you remember the story of the Bishop of Binjan? During a famine, he locked himself in a high tower filled with good grain. Poor fellow, alas, drowns it.
What's the moral, please?
The little rats of greed will never reach us in this magic tower of ours, will they, you know?
Of course they won't.
There is something magical about this room, isn't there?
This little room of ours?
Yes, with stairs so long and so steep, but no one but us can ever reach it. It's like living in a state of enchantment. Don't you feel that way about it sometimes, Linda?
Yes. I feel it so strongly sometimes that I'm frightened.
Frightening.
Well, yes, I wonder where it will all end.
Then you are really enchanted. In a state of enchantment, no one ever worries about endings. Things just go on and on. Nothing important ever happens.
How thrilling that sounds. I wonder if it's true.
Oh, it is. I'll prove it to you.
I'm sure that you will.
I remember nightingales. We'll have nightingales for supper. Remember, walking in wet weather always gives me such an appetite.
I wish you weren't going.
How come?
Well, when you leave, something happens. I start to have such awful thoughts.
About me?
No, about me. I think, what a burden I am. How happy you'd be if it weren't for me. Just think. Without me, you'd still be a happy young art student without a care in the world.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Without you, I'd be the most miserable man in the world. So long, Linda.
Goodbye, Jen. Good luck. Our magic tower. Our lovely leaking tower. Mrs. O'Fallon? No, it's me. Oh, hi, Molly. Come in. There's company to see you, Miss Lynn. Well, what's the matter? Is it a big man with the briefcase? Briefcase of what? You know, leather satchel. Is he a bill collector? Oh, I thought you meant a case of measles or something. Oh, my. Guess what he called me, Miss Lynn? He called me the Duchess. He said, tell the Duchess. Mitch! It's Mitch! Molly! Molly! Well, we seeing you, Duchess.
Me and Babe.
Oh, babe!
Yeah, it's me. We're waiting for the elevator.
How are you?
78, 79, 80. Whew! My stuff in long arches. I want to climb another 5 flights to heaven. Duchess, we're crying out loud.
What the devil? Do you think we wasn't going to play in this town anymore? Look at here, Duchess. A wedding present.
Oh, how sweet. Oh,
Yeah, a traveling bag.
Show people can always use an extra piece of luggage.
it's beautiful. Jim and I will use it on our honeymoon. We're planning to have one someday.
What a dump. Color bedroom and bath all in one.
Oh, there isn't any bath. Jim says baths are an affectation of the idle rich.
A what? What kind of guy is this husband of yours?
No bath? Gee, Duchess, what do you make your gin in? Well, see you got plenty of running water anyway.
Isn't it awful? It's been leaking all afternoon. But when the sun comes out, it's really very nice in here. It's not that bad. It's what they call a studio apartment. All young artists have one.
I get ya. Bohemian, huh? Atmosphere, color, cockroaches, and a leaking roof. Say, where's the master of the house anyways?
He's calling on T&P Westcott at the Waldorf Astoria. He just arrived this morning aboard the Ile-de-France.
The Ile-de-France will fall to that. Don't you remember, my dear? That's where you met the Count and Countess de Tootsie. Simply ripping when they capped off his monocle and made clam feathers.
Oh, babe, crazy as ever. Westcott's an art dealer. Jim's going to show him some of his work. And if he will just take an interest in us, it will mean everything, simply everything. I wish the rain would stop, or Jim will get soaking wet.
So Jim's the name. What's the rest of it?
Mr. and Mrs. James Oliver Flynn.
Fancy moniker that. Look good on a billboard. Mr. and Mrs. Flynn and the 5 little flying Flynns. So how about it, Duchess? What can he do? Dance? Paddle? Adagio?
He's an artist, you nut. Haven't you ever heard of an artist before?
Sure. An artist, a guy that's out of a job and don't give a damn. Seriously, Duchess, how are you fixed?
Okay. Come on. What's the real situation? On the rocks, huh?
Everything is okay.
Yeah, everything including the roof. You look like you haven't had a square meal in a couple of weeks.
Come on, Duchess. You don't have to put on an act with us.
Oh, he works so hard. Poor Jim. It's pitiful how hard he works, and nothing ever comes of it. Nothing at all.
Just as I thought. He's a hand. Come on, Duchess, pack up this new traveling bag and let's get going.
What on earth do you mean?
You know you can get your job back.
You two must be crazy.
You're going on tour with us. Bergman said so. He sent us here to get you back. Come home. All is forgiven, he said.
No. You can give Mr. Bergman my regrets. I'm not available this season. Say, what do you all think I am? Do you think I'd walk out on Jim because things is a little tough right now? I'm not any quitter.
Walked out on the show pretty quick.
I wasn't in love with the show.
And you're in love with this sap?
Of course she ain't. Not the Duchess. She's got too much sense.
I am in love with him. Of course I am. And if you're all going to talk about him like that,
Same old Duchess. Always on the high horse about something.
Be sensible, kid.
oh, it's like the show business and everything else. You have to work your way up.
Yeah, but at least in show business, even the back row hookers get regular pay. What do you live off of? Loving a dime?
Love and 30 cents.
30 cents.
Yeah. Jim gets paid 30 cents an hour to pose at the art studio where he used to study.
Posies, posies, who will buy my posies?
And, sometimes if he gets an advertisement, that helps out some.
Great, you can give him a job painting your sign someday on Broadway.
So, this is how you live. How do you do it, honey?
I don't know. Really, I don't. We just get along somehow. Oh, you needn't feel sorry for me. I've changed. I'm not the girl I used to be. Something's happened to me. Something terribly funny.
I can see that.
There's something mysterious about this little room of ours. We call it our Magic Tower. And when we're in it together, we haven't a care in the world. It's as if we were millionaires.
Or Duchess. She's off her nut.
You think I'm crazy?
Crazy? I'll say so. Bergman's little pet she was. Pay her $50 a week, and like that, walks out on the show and marries some poor punk in a red beret.
He doesn't wear a red beret.
Marries some poor punk that stands up naked for 30
He
seconds.
doesn't stand up naked.
Well, you married him, didn't you?
Of course. I was crazy about it.
You hear that, bitch? She was crazy about him, but she ain't anymore.
Was, am, and always will be.
If you're so crazy about this artist guy, why don't you give him an even break?
An even break? Of course I do. I do everything I can for him. I wash his brushes and mix his paints, and I pose for him.
That's not what I mean. You know what I mean. He can't get nowhere tied to your apron strings.
Tied to my apron string?
These artists never get married. They can't afford to. Until they made a success, it ruins their career.
Funny she ain't thought of that herself. The babe's right about it, Duchess. You don't want to be a rock around this guy's neck.
A rock around Jim's neck? No, I wouldn't be that.
That's what you'll be. Mark my word.
The babe's right about it, Duchess. You gotta look at it that way. If you really love this guy.
You don't want to spoil his chances.
Spoil his chances? I'd never do that. No, you're just trying to ruin everything.
Think of the future.
Yeah, the future.
Think of what he could do if he wasn't tied up.
Tied up? No.
If he wasn't tied up, he could go to Europe and study in one of the fancy schools over there. That's where all the real artists go.
Sure. They ain't got a chance if they don't.
No. I can't go on without Jim.
You have to. It's the only way. The show's pulling out tonight. You're going with us.
We open tomorrow in Chicago. Play there a week, then south to St. Louis. New Orleans for Mardi Gras time, then we go west. Coast to coast tour.
We play this palace in LA. That's just from a hop to my Hollywood kid. Say, with your talents and your brains,
And her good looks.
Bergman always said,
She'll wow.
you bet you will. She always did. Good old Duchess. You should have seen Bergman the night he pulled out of the show. There were tears in his eyes. Honest the time.
Back on the road with Duchess.
You go too fast for me.
Yeah, back on the road.
Take it easy, Mitch.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Those pictures are no good. They ain't got me.
Just give her time. Give her time. Let her think. Maybe she'd rather have him thrown up to her someday about how she spoiled his chances.
Spoiled her chances? No, won't do that. I'll do anything but that.
Just give her time. 5 or 10 years from now, Mitch.
5 or 10 years?
5 or 10 years from now, you won't be so young anymore. One day, when you're kneeling over the wash tub with your face all red and your hair in your eyes, he'll think to himself, there she is, my ball and chain. If I wasn't tied to her apron string.
No.
Babe's right about it, Duchess. Babe's absolutely right.
Say, how do we know if this Westcott deal goes through or not? Will you give us a ring?
No time for that. She'll give us the old Bronx semaphore.
What's that?
Honey, that's what got me out of many a tight spot before you and me started going steady. It's like this. The dame goes to the window. The coast is clear. She hoists the shades like this. That means that she's going, or I'm coming, as the case may be.
Says the voice of experience.
But if it's a no-go, and the old man's on the spot, she hoists the shades like this. That means the game is called on account of rain. Get the idea?
I get ya.
Let's run through the routine. We don't want any slip-ups on this.
Up if I'm going, down if I'm not. Is that it?
Smart girl. We'll be back in half an hour.
You can chin up, Duchess. We'll see you soon.
Jim! Oh, Jim. Your paintings are soaking wet.
Yes, wet, wet. All wet. That's what Mr. Westcott said. Except he didn't put it so bluntly. Oh, sure, he was very genteel about it. He used a lot of high-sounding words. Talked about planes of consciousness and aesthetics. All the usual tripe. He shook his head sadly and said, I'm afraid the world isn't quite ready for your kind of art. Go back to school and master your technique. So you have years and years ahead of you. Years and years what? I asked him. Starvation? He said I took it all too seriously. I'm just so tired of things.
Jim, do you know what having the shade down like this means? It means we're blocking out the whole world, Jim. Westcott's right. We've got years and years.
Years and years of what?
Of each other.
Oh, each other, each other. Do you think we can eat each other?
Jim.
Calm down to earth, woman. You can't live up in the clouds all your life.
It's not the clouds I'm up in, Jim. It's our magic tower.
Magic Tower baloney. We're living in Mrs. O'Fallon's attic. Her lousy, leaking attic. We're 5 weeks behind on rent. And you know what that means. We're going to be kicked out by our ears.
But I thought you said in the state of enchantment in which we live, you don't have to worry about endings.
Those were just words.
Just words? You didn't mean them. I see.
What was that?
Just the shade flying up. How old are you, Jim?
I'm 21, but what does that have to do with the situation?
21. How marvelously young that is. I'm 26, Jim. You didn't know that?
Linda, you asked such a trivial thing.
Yes, I know. I've quite the trivial mind. Poor Jim, all tired out and soaking wet from your long walk through the rain. You can just rest here, and later you can go get a bite to eat from Mrs. O'Fallon.
She always used to work. Oh, God.
Yes, I know. Before you got yourself tied up with the dame. Jim. The rain is stopping. There's a lovely little sliver of moon out. It looks like a little dancing sliver. Jim, it's going to be a lovely day tomorrow. The sun will come out and the dry spots will clear, and there's a price for everything, Jim. Nothing comes for nothing. I'm sure it'll be much healthier to live in a dry, bright attic than a magic tower with a leaking roof. Jim, are you asleep?